Hi guys, Olive here. In preparation for the Read Your E-Reader Readathon that is upcoming, I thought I would show you what is on my Nook. As you can see inside of my M-Edge carrying case, I have a Nook Simple Touch. This is the discontinued Nook Simple Touch without the glow light functionality. I've had it since about 2013 or 2014. A few weeks ago, I did a video on getting books for a bargain. I will link that down in the description box if you've yet to see it. But in that video, I talked about my tips and tricks for finding good sales on ebooks. I get several different newsletters every single day alerting me to ebook sales. There are always ebook sales going on, and it's just about finding them. Because I subscribe to several of those newsletters, finding the sales on ebooks is no longer as challenging for me, meaning that I'm buying more ebooks. Although I love my Nook and fill it with tons of ebooks, I am not using it as frequently as I want to. So I was very excited to hear that there's a Read Your E-Reader Readathon happening from July 24th to August 14th. It is being hosted by Raul of Latin Lector and Janie of Bookworms Buddy. I will leave links to both of their channels in the description box below if you'd like to check them out. But I had remembered that around this time last year that there was a Read Your E-Reader-a-thon. I'm pretty sure I heard Kirsty of Melbourne on My Mind talk about participating, and I thought it was a fabulous idea. But it was over by the time I caught wind of it. I've never before talked about the books on my lovely e-reader here. I thought I would show you a sample of what's on here. A sample being 20 of the books I have on here. The first book on here is Perla by Carolina de Robertis. This is literary fiction surrounding a young girl whose parents were on the losing side of a political conflict in Buenos Aires. Next is The Incarnations by Susan Barker. This is basically a literary tour of the history of China. I remember Liberty Hardy singing this one's praises. Next up is Signal to Noise by Silvia Moreno Garcia. This is a magical realism coming-of-age tale set in Mexico City between 1988 and 2009. The next book I have is Alice and Frida Forever, A Murder in Memphis by Alexis Coe. This is nonfiction surrounding a murder that happened in 1892 when a 17-year-old girl and a 19-year-old girl fell in love and went to violent lengths to be able to be together. Next up is The Bronte Plot by Catherine Ray. In this book, a bookseller travels to the Bronte sisters' childhood home with the grandmother of her ex-boyfriend seeking a change in her life and answers to secrets. Next is How to Be a Bad Bitch by Amber Rose. In this book, the now famous in her own right ex-girlfriend of Kanye West, an outspoken advocate for women, discusses her life experiences and her badass attitude. The next book I have on my Nook is The Six Wives of Henry VIII by Alison Weir. This is nonfiction, and I feel that the title pretty much sums it up. The next book is called Tempesta's Dream, a story of love, friendship, and opera by Vincent Lococo. This is a coming-of-age tale, a love story, and historical fiction all wrapped into one, all about an aspiring opera singer in Milan. The next book is City of the Sun by Juliana Mayo. The book follows an American journalist who is attempting to infiltrate a Jewish community in Cairo in the hopes to locate a refugee nuclear scientist who could be the key to America's new weapons program. The next book is What Strange Creatures by Emily Arsenault. This is a secret history-esque thriller murder mystery with dysfunctional family and academic elements. I also have Vera, Mrs. Vladimir Nabokov by Stacy Schiff. This is a biography of the great Russian writer Nabokov's wife, written by Stacy Schiff, the historian who fairly recently wrote the pretty well-known Cleopatra biography. The next book is Cushiel's Dart by Jacqueline Carey. This is the first book in a high fantasy trilogy that I've heard nothing but good things about. I've heard both Becky from Beck's Books and Deboki from Okie Dokie Boki sing this book's praises. The next book is The Opposite of Everyone by Jocelyn Jackson. This is a book set in the American South. Our main character is a woman who is searching for her mother, and her mother is a woman who detached from reality very early on in our main character's childhood. The next book I have is On Cats by Charles Bukowski. It is my understanding that this book contains Bukowski's funny and poignant musings on the nature of cats and of human and cat relationships. Next up is The Mambo Kings Play Songs of Love by Oscar Cuelos. Two Cuban brothers who are also musicians make their way to 1949 America to start new lives for themselves. Next up is The Lessons by Naomi Alderman. This is another secret history-esque book in tone and plot, And this author, as you may know, just won the Bailey's Prize for fiction with her newest book, The Power. The next book I have is The Weight of Feathers by Anna Marie McLemore. This was an ebook that was gifted to me during the Reddit Gifts book exchange when I said I wanted something similar to The Night Circus. The next book is Owl and the Japanese Circus by Christy Cherish. This is the first of an urban fantasy series that I heard about from Sana from Inkbones Books, all about an ex-archaeology grad student turned international antiquities thief. The penultimate book is Lexicon by Max Barry. This is a fantasy thriller in which people learn how to use language to manipulate each other's minds, and where they start to wield words like weapons. And the very last book I'll show you in this video is The Violinist's Thumb by Sam Keen. This is narrative nonfiction all about genetics. So that was a sampling of some of the books that I have here in my Nook. It certainly wasn't all of them. I do have some scattered Russian history books. I do have some other nonfiction. My husband has a lot of things on here as well. I am hoping to read at least 2, if not more, books off of my e-reader during the Read Your E-Readathon. I have a couple of ideas of what books I might like to pick the most out of the 20 that I just showed you. But certainly, if you have any suggestions, if you've read any of these and think that there is a specific book that I absolutely must read, I would love to hear about it in the comment section below. Or you can find me a variety of places on social media. The links to all of my profiles are in the description box below. Also, I hope if you have an e-reader that has a ton of unread books on it, that you'll consider joining in on this readathon. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. As always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.